Hey you guys, it's your boy Pete one more time. This time around, I just want to show you I'm very excited. I was able to complete one of the tasks I was set up to do on my nested virtual environment. So, as I mentioned to you earlier in another video, I was using the VMware software for virtualization, Hypervisor Type 1, bare metal, which is ESSI. I was using ESSI 6. As you know, it is not a free software because you at the end of the day have to pay for the license. And after I think it was 45 to 50 days, I started to get that nagging evaluation expire, so I have to end up paying for it. I'm not using this for the production, it's just for learning purpose. So 60 days more than enough, but I decided to keep using it and actually put it on production, even if it's at home, which at the end of the day, well, as you know, you have to pay. I decided to do a search and found out that there is a open source version of ESSI that you don't necessarily have to pay for licenses. That is, you do pay for a subscription if you believe in the project, which I believe you should because it is that good. But it is a free to use in a production environment and for learning purpose, since you don't have to pay a license and everything is open source. I didn't say free, I said at no cost to you, open source. The name of this product is called Proxmox. It's awesome, guys. I suggest you go and take a look at it. So without further ado, what I want to show you today is how I was able to virtualize my server. Of course, that's another issue because, as you know, Microsoft dominant in this area. You end up have to pay for the servers per user, per core, per PC, and so forth and so on. So I also went on a search for a open source version. Guys, you know that Linux is not necessarily business ready in some aspect, but there is a lot of good stuff out there that you can use and make your environment even at work at no cost to the company or less expensive. Of course, you're always going to end up paying for services or at one point or another for support. But without further ado, I want to show you how is my environment coming along, my nested virtual environment. So I want to point your to my server. And as I mentioned to you earlier in an earlier video, I'm using a Dell PowerEdge 3710. I have a hard drive, 1 TB each, which I created a RAID on it. I did a RAID 10, but you can do a RAID 5, 10, 50, and even 60. As you see, guys, once I install Proxmox, this is pretty much what you get, just like on ESSI. And there is my IP address, since this is considered a headless server. So I necessarily don't need a keyboard or the monitor or mouse. It's only for configuration purpose. Once you get that IP address, you go in the browser, enter that IP address. Don't forget to put the port number. And guys, this is Proxmox pretty much as you will operate it from ESSI. So as you see right here, I already got virtualized a few operating system. And as I mentioned to you, I did install Windows Server 2019. It is awesome, it's pretty good. But at the end of the day, I didn't want to have to end up paying. So I found a open source version which I can do Active Directory with. All of the Active Directory services right from my operating system, which in this case is open source, and it's called Zentyal. Now Zentyal, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name properly, but it is really awesome, and I just virtualize it. And this is pretty much what it looks like if you were have a actual monitor and a computer with a keyboard. Of course, you can also, just like any other server, once it is set up, you can access it from the browser in which you have a GUI. In this case, you just enter your IP address over on the top. Don't forget to put the port number, and you are prompted to go to your login. In this case, I simply created a user and my super private, super secret password, which I always advise everybody to set up a complicated password, at least easy for you to remember, difficult for anybody else to guess. And of course, you enter your credentials, and this is pretty much what your dashboard will look like. Guys, this is a very, very powerful tool. I'll tell you that I was able to create my Active Directory, my DC, and I even fire up a VPN for the purpose of navigating the web on a very secure way. I also got firewall that I can create my rules on. I have um, uh, internet firewall that's set up with IDS and IPS. And of course, it's my domain controller. And something really awesome that I also tend to do is that I was able to create a file share folder so I can set it up as my common across my network. Guys, mind you, I could have virtualized a Windows server, which I did, but this is completely free and it's even more powerful, I believe. So just to show you pretty much a little bit of what I did here is my users or computers if I want to use this as a Active Directory. I'm gonna go over to manage just to show you that in fact I have in my domain some of you that I created for the purpose of this testing. Here are the users that I added, and everything is very much on the GUI. These are all my users. I can create administrator, I can set up permissions per OU and so forth and so on. It's pretty much once you set this up, which is gonna be kind of like headless, this is in fact your DC. And if you notice right up the top, there is my domain name on the top. And on computers, you notice that I actually have a PC that is now on my network, on my domain setup. Just to show you, I'm gonna switch over to my Proxmox. And here, I'm gonna fire up my Windows 10 Professional. And this is the one that I virtualized and connected to the network using my Zentyal server. And if we go over to Explorer, right click on this PC, properties, and you're gonna notice that here is the name of my computer, and that is the one that came up on the Active Directory side on Zentyal. Just to show you how this will look from a Active Directory or Windows Server, I downloaded the services right here on Windows 10. I'm gonna go ahead and click on it. This always takes a little bit of time to come up, but I just want to show you exactly what it would look like if you would be on a Windows machine trying to see your Active Directory. And as you see right up the top is my domain name on this Active Directory users and computer. And if you notice on the users, here's the name of the guys that I already have set up. And of course, I have a group which I call family. And from there, you can look at the members, and it's all of the members that I have on Essential Active Directory that I created. And just to confirm that this is correct, I'm gonna go over to computers, and in computers, we should be able to see the name of the virtualized Windows 10 Professional that I tied up to my domain. Of course, actually I did close that. Let me go ahead and open it again. Go over to Explorer, this PC, open properties, and if you notice, right at the bottom, right here, is my domain. Now, right on this computer, I was able to create a what you're gonna call a storage or cloud. I'm gonna go ahead and open it. If you notice at the IP address, it is the IP address of my Zentyal server, which is my Active Directory. I created a pool, and in there I created a shared drives for every one of my users. Of course, this is mine, and just to show you some of the stuff that I have there. Remember, guys, this is the virtualized version of my Windows 10. I'm gonna go and open the guest edition to make it a little bigger. Yes, you can do it on a guest edition as well. I'm gonna go ahead and close out of it. And one more time, I'm going to switch over to my Zentyal server just to show you how simple it is. If I switch over back to my Windows 10 Professional Virtualize, you're going to notice that I have everything that I would normally use on my regular machine. But I also have here at the bottom my Open VPN. Now, I'm not even going to use it on this virtualized one. I'm going to get out of this nested environment, and I'm going to show you all my regular Windows 10, my actually hard drive. I'm going to go ahead and click on Open VPN. It's going to give you an error. That's okay. I'm working around it. But if I go down to the bottom, notice that I am already locked in to my VPN. I'm gonna go ahead and open, and here's my network. Let's go ahead and try this one more time, just to show you. And notice here on the bottom, my regular network, and here it's telling you that I am connected to my Open VPN. I am already behind my VPN on a secure network. Now, guys, I'm super excited because I was able to go get all this pretty much for free on an open source. Next, I'm planning to add Ubuntu, which I've been told that is so difficult to add to a domain. I'm going to have my Ubuntu, which I already created. I created Ubuntu Budgie. It's really nice. It's very good. I really like it. The interface is very nice. It's user-friendly. Pretty powerful tool. I'm going to be adding that to my domain and create a video to show you. And just to finish up my complete environment, virtual environment, my nested virtual environment, I'm going to virtualize my router. I use a simple router as in this moment. I'm planning to use a PSN, and with PSNs, I'm planning to virtualize it. And again, add another layer of security with IDS and IPS. I'm going to create a video on that, how to do it, how I got it done, how it works, and then I'm going to share it with you. Guys, one more time, this is how my nested virtual environment is coming along. I'll keep you posted on the next video. Take care.